Okay, so for today's challenge, we're going to pour that while working around that. Local regulations, top wire is 12.5 kV. We stay 10 feet away from that minimum distance at all times. The 3 wires down from that are 220 volt supply wires. We stay minimum distance 3 feet away from those at all times. Bottom wire is a cable telephone wire. We do not touch that wire ever, is the rule. So how we're going to approach this is, I want to get the pump as far underneath that wire as possible, as such that we can get as much working range for pouring the walls as possible. So what we're going to do to achieve this is cut over, put our tires right close to the bank, land an outrigger right in the gravel there, use our fancy dancy Dica Pro Stack slot lock cribbing blocks to crib up, land the outrigger on top of that, and that's going to get us in about 5 feet further past that wire, which means as we're pouring this, we're able to lift our main section up that much higher and keep the tip hose elevated above the height of the walls. So this is going to work pretty well. I'm fairly confident. The only thing that will be challenging is a segment of wall over on this side, because our pedestal is going to be located about here. As we start slewing to the left-hand side of the pour here, it's going to bring us a little bit closer to the wires, so we're going to have to drop the boom down lower. So it might be in a situation where they've got to push the hose around a little bit to get that tall wall. Either way, it still beats line pumping, in my honest opinion. So yeah, there is a way to do this safely and more easily, and that's what we're going to depict in today's video. So stay tuned, pump should be here any minute. Here comes the pump. Da, 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 da. Anyhow, go time. So I'm going to pull his tires up, not too close to this edge here, but close enough. And maybe, no, that's actually good. If I pull them too far this way, it exasperates the problem of when we get to that wall. So if I can keep his pedestal more centered over the pour is a better thing. So I think this is actually really good. We'll throw this leg out, see where we stand, and we'll go from there. It's pretty good, Thomas. We'll throw the outrigger out and we'll see where it lands. We might have to come in a little bit closer, but we'll yeah, chuck it out and we'll go from there. All right, let's see where we get to here. You know what? Interesting situation. Are we better off to move this porta potty and nose right up close and get in tighter? Or do we keep ourselves centered and sit back? I'm gonna go with, we move the porta potty and come right up close and get in right tight here. I think we're better off. We'll move the porta potty out of the way, come up and get right in there. Yeah, the advantage to sitting in the middle is when we go to pour that wall, we're not swinging the boom tighter to the wires, so it's kind of nice to be more centered. But given that we can pull up and get over probably like 2 feet further in, I think in this case we are better to move the porta potty, pull up. So we'll go with option B. So we'll move the shitter out of the way, and yeah.
See how there's a pin? No, keep going. See how there's a pin right there? Right there.
All right, let's see what we got here. Let's try and land our tire right up there.
Yeah. Shovel into there. Hey, Tommy. Get my car and move it
Oh, we got a vehicle in the way. Of course we do. So yeah, we'll get right up here and we'll probably land this leg right about here. You want me to move that porta potty more? That's probably good anyhow, eh? It's Canadian, eh? Oh! You're on the gutter. Please bounce back. Oh, he dented it. Oh, man. Okay, anyhow, we're in. We are in. So we're gonna level this out, stack our blocks up, land it, and rock and roll. All right, so what we were doing here, we're gonna level out this gravel, throw down a couple of these Dica Safety Tech pads as our base layer. A little bit slash a lot overkill for what we're doing here today, but we are training one of our newer guys, so you might as well train him on overkill versus the other way. And yeah, we'll get this piece together here.
Why did I use this?
Okay, so what we got is the base pad here, and you see the slots machine into it, such that the blocks lock into it. And then you just build the pads up in a crisscrossing pattern. You can see how they lock together here. Hence the term slot lock. Slot lock. You see what they did there? Ah, clever. So what we'll probably do is put another 4 blocks down. Maybe another 6 so that we can level up real nice. And yeah, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Saves a ton of time versus playing around stacking 2x4s or 4x4s or even 4x6. So like I said, this is definitely on the overkill side what we're doing here today for illustrative and instructional purposes. So in a practical world, if I'm doing this just by myself and we're not training, it's bang, 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 quick, quick, quick. So what do you think? One more layer of blocks, or maybe 2? Maybe 2, eh? Yeah. So we'll do 2 more layers such that we've got enough travel on the outrigger we can bring that front end up and get ourselves nice and level. We're just talking strategy over here. Promise I'll lift this outrigger up. There we go. Now for these pads, or these locking cribbing blocks, the original version I know is engineered to be stacked as high as, I believe it was 8 feet tall. I don't know exactly what the spec is on these, but I'm going to say it's going to be at least 5 or 6 feet. In our application, we've never had to stack them too much higher than this anyhow. Yeah, it is quite impressive how high they can be stacked, and it is fully engineered and endorsed by the manufacturer. So, oh dude, I'm looking at my wheels I just polished. Who did that? Oh, the staining, who did that? Ah, it never ends. Anyhow, back to what's relevant. I'll grab a couple of these. Now, highly recommended. You can see some of these have handles, some of them don't. The first kit we bought, we did not opt for the handles. Way easier to carry them with the handles. These are very dense, hard plastic, and they're a little bit slippery. They're tough to grip. So if you're going to grab one of these, 100% make sure that you get the handle option. And don't fall over when you're working with them either. That too. So that's the pad on top. The grip pad, which keeps this pad from slip sliding around on top. A very important component. So let's see what these, how these behave once we load them up.
Down all the way.
we go. Mike's gonna make a little adjustment here, is he? Just trying to get it so that once this is fully extended, it's nice and centered up on those blocks. So you can see when the outrigger comes down, it kicks out a little bit. So it's centered up nicely in the hole there. So our ground is dead level, our pump is not, but you will notice once we lift this other side and bring the pump up, the relation of the down leg to this stack of cribbing, it is going to straighten out. So check back in here in a bit once we're cranking this other side up. Okay, so we're going to level this up now and we'll see what we get.
Just gonna put enough pressure to
You'll see as we lift here how that relationship between the stack and the leg is going to straighten up. And that is good. We are set. We will now unfold our boom and yeah, move on to that next challenge here. So all right, here we go. It is time to unfold and see what we got. It's a nice thing of this little 24-meter Z. So versatile. This would otherwise be a line pump job. You can see what I mean. For this wall here, we can only come up so high before we're within our limits of approach on the wire. And as that last section kicks out, it gets lower and lower and lower, so we're gonna run out of height. So we'll probably end up just with the whip hose pushing it over to get to this wall. So we'll mess around with this, get our tip hose all set up, and get ready for concrete and get a little more footage then. No, I want to do it. Rock, paper, scissors, 4K. Mike's going to film me. I'm going to be the boom guy. He wants to be the boom guy, but I'm going to do it. I hope I don't screw it up. So yeah, I wonder... Actually, you know what? Maybe a 3-inch hose is the better bet. Oh yeah, you know what? This is gravy. And then for this wall down here, they can just push it, right? And I can get back in here, and still I'm 3 feet away from those 220 wires. Actually, you know what?
might be able to.
No, the 3.5 is probably right. We bring that back in like so. Yeah, you know what? 3.5. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
It's the one I already brought out.
Give me my camera back. You got lucky. It actually fell off the truck and it just landed there, and he's claiming he wants to take the credit for it. So yeah, we're gonna use, as much as I don't really like these hoses a lot, it's got a 4-inch flange with the 4 to 3.5 reducing stem. They can be Plug City, but this is just a nice creamy residential mix, and we're not pumping fast. But typically that hose coupled with, we have the short 5 to 4-inch reducer that's a 12-inch or 14-inch. So you're reducing down from a 5-inch elbow to a 3.5-inch hose, you know, in less than 2 feet. Not ideal if you're trying to hog out, you know, 10 loads on a commercial job. but for something like this, it doesn't matter. The reason this is better, if we were to go down to a 3-inch hose, now we've got a 36-inch 4-to-3 reducer, plus a 10-foot 3-inch whip. We can only get that boom up so high, and your hose is still dragging into the pour area, right? So, and no, I'm not closer than 3 feet to those wires. It's just a goofy angle. So, yes, those 220-volt wires, the same ones that supply the house, the rule is 3 feet, and I am 3 feet away from those. It's just an awkward view here. You can see as I get up a little higher. We are safe. We are not encroaching on our limits of approach, nor will we encroach on our limits of approach, because those are the rules and we follow the rules. And if we have to push the hose around a little bit, we'll push the hose around a little bit, but we're not going to take any chances here. So anyhow, we'll get finished setting up here and just waiting on concrete. Just one interesting point of note, Mike is actually wearing my coveralls. Mike thinks he's huge, but my coveralls seem to fit him, so that means that I'm probably huger. Oh god, here come the short jokes. The guy's like 5'11", he makes fun of me for being 5'9". You cannot make short jokes unless you're over 6 feet tall.
5'9" to 5'11" is a big jump.
Oh god. But what we won't get into, I'm pretty sure my arms are bigger. Yeah, pretty sure. This guy here, he's just all fluff. He's like one of them power lifter guys. He can actually hear me. I'm trying to speak quietly, but the smile tells me he can hear me. I was just talking about how I'm huger than you are, so I'm a little more short, compact, dense. Not in the head, of course, no. Anyhow, we're gonna chuck our hose on here, swing back under, bang, 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 and actually get to pumping some concrete. Enough of the bull crap. You see here what I was talking about. It's a lot of reduction in a rather short distance, but pumping at a slow pace with a creamy mix. This will not be an issue today. And while we're here, I have seen brand new hoses blow clear out of the coupling. So what we are going to do, Mike is going to show us best practice for installing the safety sling. We choke onto the rubber. I'll go down a little bit further maybe. Always onto the rubber, that way if the hose were to blow out of there, we're catching the rubber. The worst way to do this, even worse than cinching onto the actual crimp, I've seen guys put this hose sling on the reducing stem. Typically when these hoses wear out, the first thing to go is they'll wear right through at the stem and bust clean off. Don't ever, ever, ever put a safety sling on here. No bueno. And of course, as with anything hanging from the boom while we're pouring from the boom, anything that's going to be over anybody's head, safety pins. These are the best safety pins out there. So much nicer than the ones that come with the clamps. I love these. We got these at the local auto parts store. And they're large enough that you've got to be really, really negligent to actually lose the thing. So anyhow, we're all geared up and we will get going pretty quick here. So what he was saying is he's not going to order a balance till the first load is empty. So yes, so exactly. So because the wires are low enough here, we can bring the boom back and we can recirculate while we wait. If we were unable to do that, what I would probably do, my go-to tactic for something like this, with how hot it is out today, I would pump out as much as I can, and I would probably pull a sponge back, pluck the sponge out of the back end, and just leave the hopper happily, say that 5 times real fast, happily mixing away while we wait on our balance, rather than the pump sitting with concrete in it. And as I've mentioned several times in previous videos, I absolutely would not leave the hopper full and do the take a stroke every 10 minutes theory. Don't like doing that. You end up with a hopper that's an absolute mess at the end of the day. And as I pointed out before, baking hot concrete in the hopper, taking one stroke and moving it 10 feet down the pipeline, doesn't really achieve a whole lot. It's still baking hot concrete sitting in your boom pipe. So Not a fan of that. Okay, here we go. Concrete has arrived. It is prime time. Being that this is training day, they have used bentonite in the prime port for priming this little Z-boom. Typically, I would just use water, but bentonite is kind of like the training wheel for the new guys. Pretty much foolproofs it. So we will get this stuff through, and then see what kind of working range we ended up with here. Let's try and sneak through here. Can I do it? Can I do it? Oh, that was easy. Glad I shed that 20 pounds. Let's see what we got. Oh, dry ball. That's one of the telltale signs, or not so telltale signs, of a dry batch plant. Oh, they got my camera wet. Fixed it. It actually is quite dry. That's what they want for the footings here, but we'll see. We'll see if they determine to juice that up a little bit or what they want to do. So, yeah, this worked out pretty well. I am happy with this setup. You can't prime it in a Z. I was told on the internet that you'll plug it up and the pump will explode. Just so you know. You might want to Google it. Oh, there it is. It's gonna plug right there. No, it's not. Oh, they did prime with just water. Ha ha ha. Big boy pants. There we go. Carpenter there, Scott, he really wanted me to point out his radius wall here. It's a very nicely done radius. Good job, Scott. Let's go talk to these guys about this dirty wheel. Oh yeah, and who stained the wheel? Who was it? Who stained the wheel?
Stained it?
Stained it.
You stepped on it.
I think I have polish on the truck. I think it looks like somebody Richmond it.
Richmond's been dry for a little while.
Huh. Sounds like gross negligence. Get some autos. Oh, you know what? I take it back. It came away by hand. It's okay.
Yeah, Richmond's
Okay.
full and dry. Right?
Is it? As you can see, we're still 3 feet from those wires, 6 feet from those ones, so we're in good shape. operator switch. Here we go. You're up, trainee, you're up. All right, well, that pretty much sums up all the unique activities for today. The rest of this is just going to be just boring old pump and concrete. Anyhow, it is that time. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Like it, share it, and god dang it, just subscribe to it. I think we hit 910 subscribers today, as of today. So that that 1K mark is within striking distance. I can just taste it. So if you've been watching and not subscribing, please stop being so naughty and be not naughty and subscribe to the channel. Over and out.